job, right? But just like being a farmer, right? If I put up a chart for you of the number of jobs that people had in the 50s or 100 years ago, right? Things that used to take a lot of people take not very many people now, right? So I was thinking of job categories like telephone switchboard operators, right? And farmers, and unfortunately, manufacturing production workers are in the same category. Those jobs are just vaporizing, and not very many of them are going to be around. And the ones that are still around, you're going to have higher skills to get than the ones you used to do. Now let's think a little bit more about this passion idea for a minute, okay? Lots of you are probably basketball fans, and lots of you just watched the NBA Finals, and I was thinking back again to the 90s, right? When Michael Jordan, most people considered one of the greatest players in the game, was at the top of his game, right? Remember, the Bulls had won 3 championships in a row, right? And he was on the quest to win as many as Bill Russell. And then all of a sudden, instead of Michael Jordan pursuing a 4th championship right then, he decided to do what? Do you all remember? Play baseball, right? The greatest basketball player, arguably one of the greatest basketball players in the history of basketball, right, in the prime of his career, decided to stop playing basketball and to go try to be a baseball player. And the reason was because his dream had always been to be a baseball player, not to be a basketball player, right? And to Michael Jordan's credit, he sweated through a season and a half, almost 2 seasons of minor league baseball, right? And like a lot of people, he couldn't hit the curveball. But the only way that he knew that was to try it. And the only way that he got a chance to follow that dream was to chase it, right? Think about the congressman. He's not editing Leo magazine anymore, right? He's reinvented himself as a congressman. Think about Mayor Abramson. He's been mayor for 21 years. If he wanted to run again, which he could do, I think most of us in the room would agree he would win and win handily. He decided he was ready to do something different, right? So this career change thing there's no one formula for you to decide, is this the right time for me to do something different or not, right? I don't have the magic answer. If you ask me, I can give you my advice, but it may turn out to be right. It may turn out to be wrong. I don't know if Hank is going to be successful in construction. I hope so, right? But Jeff in trucking and Willie in healthcare, those are fields we know are growing. We expect construction to bounce back eventually, but nobody knows exactly when that's going to happen, right? Let me show you 2 more people that we've helped. And again, I think what you'll hear in their comments are the same idea of, I'm doing something that I like, and that's worth a lot. Dave, roll the next 2, please.
I was working as a laboratory technician. I decided that it wasn't the career path I wanted to go on, so I decided to go back to school to do something that I actually like doing. The KentuckianaWorks scholarship program covered a major portion of my tuition. I went from doing something I absolutely hated, I was good at it, but I hated it, to stepping into a career field that I absolutely love. And it's like the difference between having a job and a career. When I counsel kids at church, I always tell them that, you know, I can't tell you what to go to school for, but go to school for something that you have a passion for. So I was able to go back to school for my passion. Morale and everything has changed. My attitude has actually changed about work, whereas I used to dread going into work, but now I actually wake up wanting to go into work. So it's definitely been a big change. Like I say, I just encourage anybody, if you're going to go back to school, go back to something that you have a passion for. And then definitely seek out all the resources you can. Definitely give KentuckianaWorks a stop by, because they may be able to help you. And if they can, it'll be a big benefit to you. And just go for your dreams. They say the sky's the limit, but I think you can reach even further than that.
I was just looking for a career change, and I was ready to go to school. Luckily, when I started with Sullivan, I started with KentuckianaWorks One Stop. Well, I recently just got my associate degree in accounting. I'll be working on my bachelor's come summer. And as soon as I got that degree, I basically started applying for higher positions, and about my second interview, I got a job. I'm getting more benefits, I'll be getting more pay. So I think, you know, I'll be able to do a lot more things, maybe try to pay my car off. We just recently bought a house, so it just opens up a lot more opportunities. Listen to your counselor, because she was very helpful. She was only a phone call away. If I needed her, I could always pick up the phone and call her. And they're really there to support you. My KentuckianaWorks one-stop counselor was very supportive in everything that I did. I'm glad she was available. Before KentuckianaWorks, it was basically just doing whatever job for the time being, and I was in a dead-end position. They were laying off, so I was unemployed for about 2-3 months, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I decided to go to school, and I was looking for a job, and that's when I started going to the Kentuckiana One-Stop Center, and they was helping me find a job, doing my resumes, searching for jobs, and that's when I got a position with the with where I am now. Life's about taking chances and just believing in themselves and believing what they do, and I think that way they can be successful.
All right, I've only got about 10 minutes, and I want to make sure I cover a couple other things, and I have one other video that I want to show you, right? But I want to just jump to one other topic on this, right? So we talked about, do I have the skills, right? Do I have the passion? Are there jobs that are going to grow in my field? Those are all things you have to weigh when you're thinking about, should I be making a career change? But the other thing that you got to think to yourself is, can I afford to do it? And oh my gosh, what would it be like if I go back to school, right? Now again, I always think about my dad. My dad would have made a great nurse, right? He's ended up being the person that took care of my great-grandfather when he was in a nursing home and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes these kinds of conversations with a career counselor can help you do what we call an interest inventory, where you can figure out there may be things you're interested in that would apply to jobs you've never thought about, right? So that's one thing that you can do through KentuckianaWorks and through the Kentuckiana College Access Center that we work with, right? But another thing that I want you to be thinking about is, can I pay for it? And this is where I do want to be clear. Congress has been very generous to KentuckianaWorks and workforce investment boards around the country to help people that have been laid off from their job. So if you're sitting out in the audience, you've been laid off from a job, you can come and meet with us. Now again, our theory is, if you have a marketable skill, our job is to try to help you do the best job search you can. But if you don't have a marketable skill, if you're sort of been churning through dead-end jobs and now you've been laid off, we have money to help you go back to school. We can use $4,000 a year to pay tuition. It works like a tuition scholarship. We can give you an extra $600 to pay for books. So I just want to make sure you understand that part of the commercial about KentuckianaWorks, and we're here to help you if you want to either come into those one-stops like the NIA Center that we mentioned or meet with people while they're here, okay? But the other thing that I wanted you to see from the people that we showed you in these videos, black, white, young, old, trucking, healthcare, right, information technology, web design, right, is that there are a lot of fields that are growing in Louisville where people are doing the hard work to apply themselves, right? And the theme that you see come through loud and clear over and over again is the sense of accomplishment and the sense of passion about what they're doing, right? So let me run the last video, which is a great example of another person who can talk to you a little bit about, can I actually succeed if I go back to school? Dave, the last one, please.
I worked in a factory, Tyco Plastics. We ran 2 machines that made garbage bags, and we worked 12-hour shifts from 6 at night to 6 in the morning. Only good thing about that was we were off half the week. Of course, working that hard and they demanded a lot out of you, you were tired all the time. I was a single parent trying to raise 2 teenagers, and I didn't have that much self-esteem because I wanted to say, who wants to hire someone without any training? And going back to school, proving to myself that I could go back after 30 years, and not only did I go back, I had a 4.0, so that made it even better. I showed everybody I could do it. It's given me self-confidence. I've got a good job now. I'm self-supporting. I'm independent, and that's the most important thing. I'm independent, because when I lost my job, I didn't know what I was going to do. Once the unemployment ran out, I didn't know how I was going to live, and they were there and they pointed me to help me decide what direction to take with my life and how to fulfill my dreams. They say, well, how did you go to school? And I'll say, KentuckianaWorks. Go down there and talk to them. People need to be aware that there is funding for them and there's chances of improvement of their life if they would take it. Basically, in the office I work at, I can do everything but the front desk and possibly the lab. I've done MAs, the medical assistant in the back office. I've done the prescription desk. I've done the operator's desk. Currently, I'm doing the referrals, making appointments for other doctors. I've given it all I've got, and I guess I like hard work. At this doctor's office, we're there to help people. So I think that's another thing, I like helping people. I was in my late 40s when I went back to college. That means if I can do it, anybody can do it. Just put your mind to it.